Welcome everyone to the most powerful masterclass for building, protecting, and restoring your immune system. How to become number one at the art of number two. This is a 7-day event that will change your life for the rest of your life. This masterclass will run from Tuesday, September the 29th until Sunday, October the 4th at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with a live Q&A with me on Wednesday, October 7th at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, and docofdetoxshow.com. If you do not have a chance to watch this life-saving, life-changing masterclass, you will be able to join it for free for a limited time. Please go to the docofdetox.com. So go to docofdetox.com, then click at the top on library, and then click on the A to Z Wellness Master Classes Guide. Once you click on there, you will have a choice of 2 master classes: Healing Your Muscles, Joints and Organs, Wolfe Non-Surgical Bodywork Masterclass, or How to Become Number One at the Art of Number Two. Uncover and discover the practitioner from within and become the healer you seek. Enjoy my gift to you and pay it forward. God bless. Welcome to part 5, everyone. Adulteration to constipation. Let's end the family curse together. Enjoy the show, everyone. So like I said before, parents are uneducated when it comes to their own health. They're uneducated when it comes to any of their children's health. But guess what? When you've got all these parents that are uneducated about their own health, everybody thinks they've, this is as good as it gets. This is as good as anybody else. So let's just wing it because I want children no matter what. And then guess what? We adulterate them and we constipate them. Tell me we don't. Okay? And here's the deal. Love, isn't it something? Let me tell you something. When we don't love ourselves, we've got to love something else. Because we can't live without love. Love is like oxygen. So why do we fall in love with certain people? Well, because their beliefs match ours. But today, aren't we into food? We are corporate controlled, okay? We are a corporation, inflammation nation, okay? And tell me that people, okay, don't find joy in their food because they don't find it in their health. They don't find it in their wealth. They've got to suppress their emotions because they don't know how to process them. So they just keep on bringing food in to bury it, right? Let's bury it. Let's bury it all deep. Okay, let me ask you a question. When you get emotional, do you go to eat? Or when you get emotional, do you not eat and not drink, but starve yourself of everything? So it's either one way or the other. So we've got to learn how to get connected to our emotions and understand something. If you're not going to fill up your own heart, then you're going to be so desperate for love that you're going to take a love that's adulterated, because even an adulterated love is better than no love at all, right or wrong. Hey, you can't live without love. Love is like oxygen. And understand something. Yes, love is the highest vibration, but it's not. Self-love is the highest vibration. Love is the highest vibration in the universe. But on this planet, it's self-love. I didn't say selfishness. I did not say self-centered. But center yourself into yourself to get to know yourself, to totally unconditionally love yourself, or you'll have all kinds of conditions. And guess what? Wherever you are on the scale of love, you'll marry someone just like that, because you won't want to be challenged. Your beliefs will want to match their beliefs. So if you haven't learned how to unconditionally love yourself, and you've got all kinds of conditions, then you're going to have conditions for that person after 6 months to a year, and that's when the honeymoon's over. I know this isn't what this is about. I go into this with other master classes, but the reality is, okay, love at first bite. You better watch it. Because, first of all, love is a self-serve job. Fill up your heart and shine that light on that person that you're attracted to. And then come together as spirit beings and then rock the world. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm trying to do with my life. What are you trying to do? Okay? So understand, to be able to do this, guys, I want you to go to my library. Okay? Please go watch or read the 12 Self-Loving Steps Guide. And if you don't want to do that, go to the Perfect Day Guide on page 28, 30, and around there, and look at the 4 pillars of self-love. At least start there. Then do the 12 self-loving steps. And if you think you can handle more, then sign up for the Braveheart Way. That's a full emotional online training. Okay? It's not like the Whole Life Coach certification, because that's intense. Okay? But the Braveheart Way is not intense. You do it on your own time. Take as long as you want to do it. But understand something. If you don't know how love works, then you don't know how the world works. So let's get right to it. 4 inches of pleasure equals what? A pelvis full of pain. How many people only think about from their mouth to the back of their throat? That's about 4 inches. So you're going to trade 4 inches of addiction, okay, for almost 30 feet of hell. And that's what we're doing. And you know what? We are so blocked and we are so crippled when it comes to take action information, to take our life back on an emotional and physical level. You know what? The only thing I get pleasure now is food or alcohol or toking, or when I take my prescription drugs. It helps me to deal with my life. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And understand something. We are light energy frequency beings. And if you're not in charge of the frequencies that are triggering your brain, then you're on the pain train and you're not coming off. Let me tell you something. So I'm bringing out another masterclass, but this is a whole training as well that couples can come and take. And guess what? It's a 7-day training. All right. And this training, okay, is called Pain-Free Pregnancy. It's to teach couples when they come together how to love themselves, how to love each other, and then to create a healthy, vibrant, beautiful, happy baby. And we start a year before we get pregnant, and we go all the way up to age 7. And we talk about everything. We talk about the things to watch out for, and the things that you should do, and the things you might not want to do. So, pregnant. Well, what does pregnancy mean to most? Pain. And what is pain? Pain is a normal thing in pregnancy. And guess what? You want to believe this or not. You know what? You have to change your diet and make it into what? A high vibratory diet, because you're creating a baby. Okay? Your abdominal region is the oven. And there better be lovin' in that oven. And that lovin' better be foods that were created by nature, have tons of light, tons of beautiful high frequency in it. And understand something. If you're pregnant and you go into pregnancy and you're not having 2 to 3 bowel movements a day easy, and you've already got hip pain and low back pain, this is all constipation. Because guess what? You don't want to believe it? Okay, that's fine. You don't have to. But the reality is this. How do you get pain without inflammation? How do you get inflammation without infection? How do you get infection without absorbing your own waste? What, are you cursed by God? I don't think so. It's a bowel problem. So where is the baby? The baby's caught right in the middle of that mess, or caught right in the middle of the holy grail of your immune system. But maybe it's not an immune system. Maybe what's happened is that large intestine is not an immune system. Maybe it's not a garden that grows beautiful things. Maybe it's just a cesspool now, and it's got tons of bugs. Because what came first? The swamp or the bug? The swamp, then the bugs. And then the infection, then the inflammation, then the pain, then the stiffness. And then, oh my God, I think you could lose the baby. Lay in bed, don't move around. Oh, you better take this to bring the pain down. Oh my God, rush you to the doctor. Okay, nobody thinks about this. So understand something. If you're going to decide to get pregnant, or you do get pregnant, you better take a look at the Perfect Day diet to start. And then guess what? You better take a look at how your bowels are moving, what type of water you're drinking, what kind of exercise you're doing, because the best exercise in the world, if you are pregnant, is pelvic activation squats, belly button therapy, okay? Pelvic enhancer, connecting to your breath, lion heart breathing. There's more. But that's a start. So understand, no room to move, no room to grow, right? Okay, now I want to ask you a question. Why is it that there's more babies dropping right now? Women can't hold their babies because they've got pelvic rot. That's right. The floor, the pelvic floor, okay, is rotting out. You can't eat rotten food. You can't eat toxic food. You can't binge on toxic things. You can't not drink a lot of structured water or high vibrational foods, or learn how to do exercise that lengthen, strengthen, detox, and restore that area and not have problems in the pelvic floor. It's going to come for you. And understand something. This is why we give consultations. We charge $125, and then we give you lifetime support. Who does that? So nobody can say, oh, he's just trying to get our money. I'll give you a money back guarantee. If you're not totally happy, we'll give you your money back. And we're not hard up for work. You know what we're hard up for? Having healthy people. Because guess what? The more healthy people we have, and the more people that take personal action with their lives, the more healthier our children are going to be. And then you're not going to have to rely on any other practitioner. And wouldn't it be nice to know what to do for your baby, for yourself? Wouldn't it be nice? They've given you a manual, okay, that is full of deception. And you can believe it or not. But if you have to run to the hospital all the time, then you're not in control. Somebody else is in control. So that means you're out of control. And if you're out of control, that's no place to be. That's just no place to be. So jammed up and jelly tight. So whether you want to believe this or not, I know women will also need a C-section because the baby's not in the right position. But understand something. Doctors will opt for C-section because it's so much easier. They can plan exactly when the baby should come out. They don't have to wait around. And the reality is whether you want to believe it or not, I'm ready to sit down with anybody who wants to debate with me. But C-sections are done mainly because of digestive disorders, okay, constipation that causes infection, inflammation, which causes scar tissue formation, and jam up jelly tight, and we have no room to move tonight. And that is the bottom line. So understand something. So where is the baby? Take a look at the picture. Where is the baby? The baby's right in the middle of this beautiful garden, or right in the middle of this cesspool. So it's up to you. It's your decision, okay? Now it is. You didn't have a choice up until now. They told you that this is how it is, and that's as good as it's going to get. And understand something. When the medical system or a doctor or even a health practitioner, doesn't matter who they are, and they say, this is all I can do for you, well, so what? That's one door. Open up a new door. And the reality is guess what? They can only help you as much as their beliefs and their training. But what if their beliefs were limited? What if their training was limited? And what if they were taught to only treat you? Because if you're going to get treated for a long time, you're going to get mistreated. The reality is I don't want you coming to me. Okay, I will treat you, but I will try to get you into, okay, a new philosophy of training. I will tell you that I need to train you on what I know so that you can become your own practitioner, so that you can teach your children as your children grow up, so that they can be their own practitioner, so that they do not become a corporate inflammation nation situation. And that is what we're dealing with today. Okay? So understand something. Like I said, this is why we put this together, Perfect Pain-Free Pregnancy. This is a personal treatment and training. We will come to you, or you can come to us. I mean, hey, let's do this. How would you like to be able to have the best relationship with yourself and your spouse so that together you can create that beautiful, amazing world that everybody dreams about for your own children? How would you like to be able to respond to dramas and traumas and stay connected to your breath with a slight smile and know that you got this? And if it's none of your business, you'll go back to focusing on what is. And if it is your business, then you will take personal action, not a reaction. Because when we react, we attack and we break things like our health, our relationships. So understand something, whether you want to believe this or not, whether you're pregnant or not pregnant, whether you're a man or a woman or a child, okay, or your man's best friend. Rotten to the core. Welcome to our world. This is a corporate world where we've been poisoned and we're rotten to the core. That's right. We are rotting from the inside out. Why do you think we stink? Why do you think our health stinks? Listen, God did not create a dysfunctional human. Manipulation. Manipulation. Not woman manipulation. Manipulation. The bottom line. This is a corporate world. Think about where you shop. Okay? Think about what's going on now. Look at all the ma and pa businesses that are now closing down. Look at how corporations are now eating up everything. We had a situation, I'm not going to mention it, but where a whole bunch of mom and pop businesses closed, but the big box stores stayed open. You don't get it. You're being poisoned in your mind, you're being poisoned in your food, you're being poisoned in your water, you're being poisoned in your air. And understand something, you can still have the most amazing, beautiful life on this planet. But you got to learn to mind your own business, and that would be to create the perfect day. Because you can have the perfect life. You said that you could come down here to a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure, and you could take it home. So understand something. Are you going to be the family curse, or are you going to be the family blessing? Like mommy, like baby. Like daddy, like baby. Okay, so do you understand? Why do you think your children have tantrums? Well, mommy and daddy must have them. Where did they learn to do that? And understand something, when your baby starts to walk and talk, your baby's acting like you. So if you don't like the things your baby's doing, why don't you take a look at yourself and start making those changes and get rid of the adulteration that's happening to that poor little baby? Because when your baby gets here, it's just a spirit. It's a beautiful little spirit. And then that spirit looks at you as the earth god. And then it says, oh my gosh, I just want to be like mommy and daddy, whatever it is. Because remember, that little baby is a walking, talking sponge. Whatever you say, whatever you do, and even the way you poo, that baby wants to do it. That's called love. That's called total love. So understand something. Our children are raised to suffer. I already told you earlier in this course that guess what? I used to sit on the toilet and have so much pain. I mean, I was 8 years old and I already had blood in my stool and I didn't want to tell my parents. And the last thing I wanted to tell my parents that were fighting with each other and getting depressed and stressed out about money and everything else is that I've got blood in my stool because I love them so much. I don't want to create stress and I didn't want them to get rid of me. We have to love ourselves well so we can love our children well. I get that now. I get that now. So understand something. As a child, constipation is normal. Diarrhea, stomach upset, stomach pains. Isn't it something? And then what do we do as parents? We give our kids drugs all the time, don't we? Okay? And then if they're home with a stomach pain and they're being real good, then we'll give them something that's got sugar or tons of flour in it, or dairy that's got inflammation in it. Wow. You know, we just have been programmed to hurt these little souls. And understand something, whether you believe it or not, but corporations live off of children's pain and suffering. And I won't get into it, but this goes deeper than diet when it comes to children. This goes so deep. But understand, we can make a beautiful health love zone for them at home. That should be their safety. That should be where they know that they're loved, they're protected, they're respected, and they're honored. And get rid of judgment. Learn to talk to your children because they're intelligent. Don't treat them like little babies. Talk to them intelligently and ask them why they do what they do. And they'll tell you, because I want to be like you. Take a look at yourself. Make the change with yourself if you want to change your family. So get this. Constipation equals period pain for every little girl, and cramping, and muscle spasms, and even blood clots, and then eventually fibroids. And all because we're a constipation nation. And because mom and dad are normal parents that are abnormal and don't know it because majority rules, right? And understand something. If you're not willing to flush the pounds, lighten the load with yourself, your children are never going to do it. Don't you be yelling at your children about them sneaking cookies and crackers and eating carbs and sugar and junk. I mean, mommy and daddy do it. They drink alcohol, don't they? Okay. They probably do prescription drugs, don't they? To numb out their emotions. So your kids won't be doing drugs, but they need to numb out their emotions. So they use the food as a drug and they use it as happiness. They use it as their joy because it's not a weight problem. It's a waste problem on a physical level and an emotional level. Because everything physical was emotional before. So let's get this, everyone. You got to do the homework. Why not sit down with your kids and watch the 12 self-loving steps and even do them with them? Do the ones that you know you can do with them. Get your kids Braveheart love bands. Come on, they're 50 cents. Okay? Order 50 of them for $25, different colors. Orange, purple, black and white, white and black. Okay? I don't know. If you're not going to take action, then don't expect anything to change because nobody's coming to save you. Nobody is coming to save you. So go take a look at the docofdetoxlibrary.com and look at the 12 self-loving steps. And then guess what? If you're really together with your kids, put on the Braveheart way. Invite them to watch a few minutes. Start doing that with your spouse. If you're single, start doing it for yourself. If you can bring up the vibration of unconditional self-love, the next person you meet maybe won't emotionally and physically abuse you. Maybe you'll stop emotionally and physically abusing yourself. Maybe when somebody tells you that you need to take a drug to get well and then put yourself in hell, you'll say no more. I vibrate too high for that. The lower you vibrate, the lower vibrational therapies and treatment you will take as normal. Think about it, please. So understand something. Family curse or family blessing? I think you get it, don't you? And understand something. We pass down a lot of curses to our kids, but we don't have to. And guess what? We're cursed with the idea that we lack. We're cursed with the idea that we are not worth loving. But guess what? You need to first love yourself. And that is so crucial. And then, guess what? As life goes on, then we enter menopause. And then women think menopause is normal. Yes, the change of life is normal. Yes, the period's going to slow down. The period's going to stop. But if it wasn't for the period, you wouldn't live longer than men. You wouldn't be able to handle the pain you do. You wouldn't be able to have a healthy enough baby for a healthy enough body to actually grow a baby. But the reality is when you go into menopause and you stop having your period, you're not getting rid of those. And if you don't believe me, I go into this more with I Am Woman Masterclass. So check that out. Okay. And I go through the whole I Am Woman and I show you how women have been manipulated for the last 5,000 years. It started where we have taken away a woman's power. And now because women have so many hormonal and chemical things going on because they bring life into the world, us as men, we have created so many different surgeries that they're just going to be in the chop shop all the time because there's so much pain and inflammation because women are the canary in the coal mine. And the more toxic that this world becomes on an emotional and physical level, the more screwed up women are going to become. So understand that. So men, stop it. Men, take a stand. Protect your women. Protect the women. They are the light of the world. So menopause. We don't understand that the period, even it was coming out and it was painful, was because it was so toxic down in our pelvic area already. Because we didn't think we were constipated because we thought constipation meant that you don't go. But that's called impaction. And I can tell you right now, I can't find a person that doesn't have a constipation problem to a certain degree where all the waste doesn't come out. Do you strain at stool? Do you get bloated? Okay. Do you have cramps? Do you have low back pain? Are you due for spine surgery? Do you have hip problems? Okay. Do you have swelling? Do you have water retention? I could just keep on going and going. But the reality is when you no longer have when you no longer have your period, you are no longer getting rid of the worst toxins in your body. So now what is your body going to do? Well, for one thing, it's got to readjust, doesn't it? It has to readjust. You're going to go through hell until it decides how to readjust to take on this extra load because you didn't lighten the load. So guess what? I'll make you a bet that if you did the perfect day, if you did coffee enemas, if you actually did just daily cleansing tea, tummy love, black gold, and you got on the perfect day diet and you started doing the exercises within 30 days to 45 days, you won't even know that you're going through menopause except for what you see, because you're not going to be living in hell anymore, because the reality is you can't sleep at night because you're having all these mini fevers. Well, that's because guess what? If you're infected, your body's got to boil it off. Okay. The other thing is you got all these sweats. Well, guess what? If you didn't sweat the toxins and burn the toxins up, you could have a heart attack, or you could have a stroke, or you could have an aneurysm, okay? Or you could have a seizure, okay? These are all healing devices when you aren't taking control. Okay, fine. Don't get the cork out of your butt. Don't start detoxifying your colon and your liver. Don't change your diet, bring it up to a high vibrational. Don't drink structured water. Find out how it works. And then guess what they're going to tell you? Well, you've got a hormonal imbalance. Well, I'm going to tell you something. When somebody comes with a hormonal imbalance, we don't even look at that part. Okay? We don't even look at that part first and foremost. What we look at is detoxifying them, because I can tell you right now that the largest percentage of all hormonal balances and imbalances is just toxicity. That's all it is. But don't worry, the natural health business and also pharmaceutical companies are going to start from the end and try to work backwards and tell you that your hormones are out of balance, and let's try to get your hormones balanced. Meanwhile, you're so toxic that game will be going on forever, whether you do it the natural route or you do it the medical route. I know I'm right. I've been doing this long enough. You know what? I've been doing this for 40 years. So even if you think I'm as dumb as a stump, the reality is this. I've been doing it for 40 years. I can only make so many mistakes. And after a while, I would clue in, no matter what you think or how you think I think. And the thing is I do think. And I think logically. I won't tell you that I'm the most intelligent person in the world, of course. I won't. But the reality is that why can't we just use logic? God did not make healing and health complicated. Man did. So let's make that perfectly clear. And as long as we understand that the game is rigged, okay, then maybe we could be our own detective and get our life together. Because as I just told you, hot flash fever, okay, whether you're a child, whether you are an adult, whether you are a woman going through menopause, or you're just having your period, you're going to have a hot flash fever. If you cannot get rid of the infection, the body's got to boil it off. That's it. So what I would do if I were you is take a look at I Am Woman Masterclass, and I'd look at A to Z Wellness Guide, which you'll find my Masterclass in there. And guess what? You'll find all the other Masterclasses in the A to Z Wellness Guide. That's where they're all going to be. This is the end of part 5, Adulteration to Constipation. We will see you in part 6, Trouble Down Below. Welcome to part 6, everyone. Trouble Down Below. Let's get the cork out, everyone. Enjoy the show. So understand, when you want to take massive personal action and start really loving yourself well, then your whole life will change. And if you don't want to, then guess what? Just get ready, because pelvic rot's not going away. And the heat is on. The heat is on, and it will not leave. And take a look at this slide. Look at this, fire down below. Now, you may think I'm kidding, but this is an actual picture. Did you get me? This is an actual picture. This is an actual picture of a gentleman that combusted and went on fire. And he didn't use a match. He didn't use a lighter. This is what happens with gas, okay? That's how bad it can get, all right? So understand, everything happens on an emotional level before a physical level. So where do you think his thoughts were? So, all gassed up and ready to blow. I wouldn't drink beer. I might have 2 beer a year, maybe 3 max. And I will do that maybe if I go to Mexico or if I'm with my kids because they still drink. And we'll just, cheers to the holiday. Okay? Because I can handle a little bit of gut rot because beer is gut rot. And even if it's organic, it's still gut rot. Because understand something. If you want to get bowel cancer, mainly bowel rectum cancer, then drink beer because it's great. Beer rots the rear. End of story. Okay? And alcohol is not good for you. So whoever told you that is crazy because it's pure sugar. All right. So hot air rises, everyone. Okay? So just remember that. So do you see the guy where his belly is sticking straight out and it's high and it's sitting up high? That same guy has angina. That same guy has breathing problems. That same guy thinks he had a heart attack, but he's just going to have a fart attack. That's all it is. He didn't have a heart attack, but guess what? Did you know that like 95% of all the men or women, but mainly men have it, get rushed to the hospital. They didn't have a heart attack. They don't even have angina. They had a fart attack. You can't find out what's wrong with them, right? And that's because gas is invisible, but when it rises up, it feels like a rock on the chest. So hot air rises, okay? And understand something. When you've got a manure pile down below, that gas is going to rise. It's going to give you a lot of other things as well. Like what? Well, it's going to give you bad breath, isn't it? It's going to give you a terrible breath, stinky breath. And understand something, everybody. You don't get stinky breath for something you ate yesterday or the day before. You get stinky breath from something you ate days, weeks ago, months ago that's rotting down below. Okay? So that's the bottom line. I mean, we've all woken up at one point, one time, looked over to our spouse or our partner and went to give them a kiss, and they might have said to us, or we said to them, please, please, no, honey, not right now. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, your breath, it's like somebody pooped in your mouth. Well, because somebody did. You did. Okay, because hot air rises. And understand, morning breath is bum breath for people that have gut rot. So you have pelvic rot. So your colon has broken down. You're not getting rid of the waste. You've got your own private manure pile. And understand something, everyone. Whether your dentist or the dental industry wants to tell you or not, gum disease is bum disease. Get rid of your bum problems, start detoxifying your colon, and you'll see the rot that comes out. And understand something. Gum disease is bum disease. Now, if you've got gum disease or you've got calcium problems with your teeth, check out Dentagen and check out cleansing your colon, and then tell me that you don't turn everything around. Okay? Because whether you believe this or not, but you've got microscopic poo particles going into your blood. Okay? And remember, your bum, your anus, rectum is the back door. Your mouth is the front door. Okay? So they are related. Okay? And the other thing is, when you have a manure pile down in your bottom of your pelvis, that hot air rises and you've got microscopic poo particles coming into your mouth. Now, what do you think that does when it gets into your bloodstream and then it gets onto your gums and you're actually bringing that into your mouth? Okay? And understand something, whether you want to believe this or not. What do you think plaque is? Plaque is actually a buildup of poo particles. Hot air rises. Don't ever forget that. Okay? Because if you're brushing every day, why are you getting plaque buildup? I do not get my teeth cleaned. Now you're going, oh my God, he's disgusting. Well, whatever. I also don't get fluoride put in my mouth. Oh my God, why does he do that? Doesn't he want hard teeth? No, I don't want my pineal gland, okay, calcified so that I get dumbed down like the majority of the population. And whether you believe it or not, that's why they use fluoride. Do your homework, do your research. It has nothing to do with making your teeth strong. It's got to do with making you weak mentally. Okay. So, but it doesn't just stop there, does it? Okay, it could be crotch rot. Okay, I mean, the dog will tell you that. Wow, what's that smell? Okay, and people have crotch rot. We know that. Okay, I'm telling you right now, and please don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of women that they have vaginal rot as well from their large intestine. And, it can smell like fish and it can be bad. And I'm sorry, women, us men get off the hook luckier because we don't have a cave down there. So I'll let that one go. And then the other thing is underarm deodorant. You'll have people that will actually burn out their shirt. The acid will actually eat their shirt away. And you can actually see like the yellow and brown. I mean, what do you think that is? Okay, you got to understand that your lymph system dumps into your large intestine. But what if your large intestine was backed up? What if your large intestine had tons of mucus and it was backed up inside and it had plaque inside the intestinal tract and the lymph can't dump? Well, it backs up. And what if you were absorbing? What if I was right and your bowel was like a screen door in a submarine and you're absorbing this waste into your bloodstream? Well, don't you think it gets into your lymph system? And why do you think, when women go like this and go, oh my gosh, I've got fat under my armpit? No, you don't. You've got lymph congestion. It's not fat. And that's your lymph nodes. And understand something, guys. You can get your lymph nodes, if you've got lymph nodes swelling, we can get that down really fast. If you've got problems with your breasts, women, we can get that changed around very quick. Okay? Between the perfect day diet, cleansing your colon, between clapping, Wolfe Non-Surgical, using things like DMSO and proper essential oils. Oh my gosh. You know what? The reality is what do you want to do? You want to get into the shower, continually check your breasts to see what lumps you have. And I mean, that's no way to live. How would you like to just take that energy and take personal action and just keep really healthy, toned, beautiful breasts all your life? We can show you how to do that. And I do mean it. Okay? And I know I'm a guy, but the reality is we have the power to give you the power back so that you can take your life back and you don't have to walk around scared thinking that something's going to happen and that you don't have control, because you do have control. So understand something, whether you're talking about your armpits or your breasts or your lymph nodes in your neck, as this picture shows, you know what? We can get that lymph node down really fast, but because you've never been taught that when your bowels back up, right? When your bowels back up, okay, your lymph backs up. And then you haven't been taught that, you see this lymph node? That's right on where we call the vagus nerve. And this guy probably has a frozen neck, okay? Like his neck is frozen, okay? He's got scar tissue in here. So there's a block already. So that's blocking around where the lymph node is. So that's why he's backing up. So understand what the external and internal things we can teach you. Please, this is not difficult. Your body just wants to heal, and that's the big deal, because you are the big deal. You can take it all back. And look at this, guys. Puffball syndrome. How many people do you know don't have a jaw left? They have no jawline anymore. They're just this big puffball, like this big beach ball that you would see, okay? And they don't just have water retention in their face. They've got it throughout their whole body, in their legs, in their arms, in their pelvis, in their abdomen. But mostly, do you ever see people's faces? Well, you have to retain that water to dilute the poison. Let me tell you something. If you're blocked up and you can't get rid of the waste, okay, you can't get rid of the waste. What does your body say? We have to retain water until you start eating a non-toxic diet, till you get the cork out of your butt and start draining your large intestine so your lymph will start to move. And until you do that, we're going to retain water. So you're going to become a puffball syndrome, because that dilutes the poisons to stop inflammation that can lead to scar tissue formation and then finally mutation, which is cancer. So puffball syndrome is not a weight problem. It's a water inflammation problem. And the reason why is because, guess what? When there's a fire, we take water to that fire to put it out. So your body takes water to you and retains it to try to dilute that fire. Because inflammation, if it carries on too long, will destroy your immune system, create scar tissue formation. It will cause displaced calcium from your bones. It will cause crystallization and then mutation because of that physical block. If you cut off your cells from oxygen for if you cut your cells off of oxygen 35% or more within just a few days, you'll have a mutation. These are just simple rules. Watch what happens when people start colon cleansing. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I lost like 15 pounds in the first week. No, you lost 15 pounds of water. Fat does not leave that quick. And then leaves the fat, then leaves the scar tissue. But if you get Wolfe Non-Surgical, scar tissue can leave like that. Because as soon as if you have a scar tissue, you have a big lump. First, what we do is we untie that knot. And then once we untie the knot, we open up the fibers, get the blood and the lymph and the energy in there. Boom. Instantaneously, it turns from scar tissue back to connective tissue. And that is law. That's the law of healing. And understand something, whether you want to believe this or not. There's a lot of people that if you were to go and just put your finger in there and smell, wait till you smell what's in their belly button. There's a lot of people that actually start to leak a little bit of waste, okay, or they start to sweat from their belly button. And that's actually a bowel that's spilling over. Okay? So understand something. You'll either do it or not do it. Look at, you know what? Yeah, sure, our whole body's made out of detoxification organs, but understand something. Our body was made to thrive on its own in a world that was full of love, full of nature, full of caring people. There is actually a species, I don't want to call them humans, okay? There are not a lot of them, okay? They're called the B group. I'm not going to say the whole name because I don't want to get into this with you too much. But the reality is they feed off your pain and suffering. They feed off your children's pain and suffering. And they could give a crap. And they're going to stop you from giving a crap so that you get toxic, so that they can live off of you because they don't care. And if you think that the systems out there were built for you, then why aren't you doing that well? Why aren't your family doing that well? And the only reason why you'd be doing that well is because you broke away from the systems and you understand that your digestive system, your lymph system, your nervous system, your immune system was more important than any system outside of you. So check out the daily cleansing tea and the daily cleansing caps, or find a product that's comparable that you like. Okay? Just make sure that you start lovingly taking action. Because if you had the perfect day and you repeated it every day, then you would have the perfect health. And understand, please don't forget about the ultimate coffee enema, okay? And if you don't want to do it, the ultimate coffee enema, go do a warm water enema and see that you're not going to hurt yourself. You're only going to help yourself. Get the cork out of your butt, okay? And whether you get our products or someone else's, just get going. Get going. Do you know how much I need? You don't know how much I need because I already have everything I want, okay? The money that we make, okay, goes into creating projects like this, goes into creating the library, goes into the Doc of Detox show, goes into the Doc of Detox live Q&A, all right? Understand something. The day that you believe in unconditional love and stop judging everyone else and yourself and observing and then saying, I want this, but I don't want that, and then never think about that again. Go for what you want and nothing else, and don't get distracted. Don't let anybody distract you. Family, media, government, no one. You'll have it all back. But don't forget to clean out your liver, okay? Your liver works so hard for you, okay? And also take a look at Do-It-Yourself Guide. You'll find it in the library. These are just a few things. If you want to stop the video, take a look here and take a look. These are just a few videos and that you're going to find here. And we're putting more and more in there all the time. And they will be alphabetical for you. So go in there and check it out. And as time goes on, you'll see more videos. And guess what? If you call me. Don't text me. Don't email me. Okay? And just tell me the video you want to see. And I'll take a look and see if I can put it in the Do-It-Yourself Guide. Because if you want it, chances are so does everybody else. But understand something. Emotional comes before physical. So please, again, check out my 12 self-loving steps. Watch the video or read the guide in the library. And then if you think you want to take on the emotional course that I have, online course for you, it's not the whole life coach certification. Okay? That is the main one that I do. But this one here is online. You can do it at your own pace. Okay? And there's about 33 different acts in it. You're going to find out that emotions are everything and that emotions are energy in motion. So take a look at it and then look at find out what you're worth. The hardest problem is this. If you have beliefs that say that you're unworthy, okay, and that you need to do everything for everyone else because that's where you get your love from, you'll never be able to pull this off. And I apologize, but you won't. That is a really, really disempowering belief. So understand something. The circle of disease, okay, it really is this, guys, okay? First, it's inflammation of the brain. Then it's inflammation of the body. And then you're going to need medication to dumb that down. And then eventually you're going to have surgery from all the scar tissue that is created, because that's what inflammation does. It creates scar tissue. And then you're going to have surgery. And then we know that surgery creates more scar tissue than anything else, which is going to give you more pain and more inflammation, which means you're going to go to more medication. I don't know if you understand this, but that is the circle of disease, and the game is rigged. But now you know what the game is, and now you have a choice. So understand something. Manipulation creates what? Manipulation. Okay? You don't get endometriosis because you're cursed. You don't get fallopian tube problems. You don't get cesareans because you're cursed. And you know what? There are times that cesareans, I already told you, have to be done because the baby's twisted. But why is the baby twisted? Is your life twisted? Is your mind twisted? Are the foods that you're eating, are they twisted and toxic? Understand something. I'm not trying to tell you that's it. I don't want anybody to feel guilty about anything I say. Please, no guilt. This is not a masterclass of guilt. This is a masterclass of self-love, honor, respect, integrity, and observing and saying, I can do this now. I'm going to forget this now. No guilt. Guilt-free. But understand, you're not going to have endometriosis. You're not going to have fallopian tube problems. A lot of cesareans will never have to happen. Ovarian cysts are just what? Well, that's a pus pocket. You got to store the pus somewhere. All that infection that's coming down, would you rather your ovaries were cancerous, or would you rather to have a cyst? Your choice. Fibroids are just scar tissue. Can't have scar tissue unless you have infection and inflammation. Where'd the infection come from? But the leaking of the large intestine, because it's a screen door now in a submarine. Hysterectomy, well, gosh, guess what? So much displaced calcium, crystallization, and scar tissue. You got this big block in your pelvis, and they go, well, you know what? We'll keep an eye on it for you. And then once it's big enough, we'll cut it out. That's all they're going to do. And if you're in pain, they're going to give you drugs. But I'm okay with that. If you want to do that, and they want to do that, that's what they do. If you go to a doctor, that's what he does. So when you go there, don't be mad if that's all he offers, because that's what he offers. But the reality is, yeah, good that we have those options, but the reality is, what's your option about you? What about you taking massive personal action and listening to this and really just giving me a chance, giving life a chance, giving your body a chance, giving our Creator a chance that your body can heal? You know what? Even if you were booked to go to surgery, you can go to surgery, but let's say the surgery is 3 weeks, 6 weeks away. I can guarantee you that we can show you that your body's amazing, and you might not be going to surgery because they might not be able to find what you were supposed to go to surgery for. Even the person that has to go to surgery because you're bone on those hips, those knees. Well, we got to do that. You're bone on bone in that spine. Okay, guess what? That's not no. Cartilage grows back. Did you hear what I said? It grows back. Do you want to know something else? Most of the time, the cartilage is just calcified, so you think that it's bone on bone. I'll tell you right now, we'll give you a money-back guarantee on this stuff. And the reason why is because I want to prove to the world that our Creator is good, our Creator is great, and our Creator loves us beyond love, and that our body is a self-healing mechanism. So understand, hysterectomy, yeah, you can have one. But the reality is, if you've had one, you've still got a ton of scar tissue down there. And if you don't get rid of that scar tissue issue and get that calcium back into your bones, you're still going to be in big trouble, girl. And myomectomy, well, yeah, fine. I understand. You got to get that cut off, right? You've got a tumor there. So the reality is you can cut that tumor off that uterus, okay? But the reality is this, it'll grow back because now you've got scar tissue there. Understand that. Unless you're going to go in and get rid of the inflammation that was created from the infection to help out and create that perfect day. And bladder cancer or bladder infection or bladder problems, come on. Large intestine falls down on top of it. It's physically crushing your uterus, your ovaries, your fallopian tubes, your bladder, your prostate. They're all being crushed when your colon falls down, when your small intestine falls down because there's no tone left. Well, what do you think a tipped uterus is? What do you think a dropped bladder? Okay, what do you think a drop colon is? It's all lack of tone. Do you want to get the tone back? Well, you'll get the tone back if you get rid of the scar tissue issue. If you put the calcium back into the bones, get rid of the crystallization, increase the circulation, you bring the life back, you'll bring tone back. Think about it. That's all. And for you women, you need to check out my masterclass. Okay? My masterclass, okay? You need to check because within the next few weeks, I Am Woman will be on. So understand this. So make sure you go and check I Am Woman if you're a woman in the masterclass because it could be there right now. It depends on when you're watching this. Okay? Understand that. I am so close to finishing it. 85% done. How's that? And I know I'm not a woman. And I probably don't have any right to do a masterclass on women. But coming from a man's point of view, I've released the feminine part of me to do this masterclass for you. And look at, go into my A to Z wellness, okay, masterclass. And what you can do is you can take a look at wherever your scar tissue issue is, wherever your problem is, whether it's a joint problem, organ problem, okay, muscle problem, tendon problem. And then go take a look what the medical system will do and what we'll do. And then go watch the video that pertains to that part of the body. And then just use logic and understand you haven't even begun to unleash your God-given power. And I mean that. And look at, start doing something so simple for that abdomen of yours is doing belly button therapy. Okay? What I want you to do is you can go into my do-it-yourself guide in my library and take a look at the belly button therapy video and unleash the power. Now, what am I saying? Well, guess what? Did you know that the only button that you need to press if you want to unleash the most powerful hormones in your body, like 50%, how's this? 50% of your dopamine, 70% of your serotonin, and you can release that with just 5 to 7 minutes of doing a technique that we put together called belly button therapy. Now, if you don't believe me, why don't you just do a stretch test prior to doing the belly button therapy and find out that you can stretch 20 to 25% more throughout your body. So see, chemicals and hormones move at light speed, but they don't just move at light speed in changing your physical. They move at light speed in changing your emotional. So they will change your mood. They will change your altitude. They will bring you high. They will make you feel loved. That's all you got to do. Go play with your belly button because it is the main button to press. And please go to my do-it-yourself guide, okay, and take a look at the videos that I've put there on how to do the pelvic activation squat, okay? There are 3 different squats. If you do these squats, oh man, everything from your ankles to your knees to your pelvis to your hips to your spine are going to feel beautiful. You're going to have better bowel movements. You're going to relieve menopausal pain. You're going to relieve period pain, back pain, headaches. I can go on and on and on. And wouldn't it feel great to feel toned and loose? Because everything that I do is about this, okay? We want to lengthen, strengthen, detox, and restore. And that's what these do. You know, in our society, we're taught to do so many stretches and so many things quickly all the time. You do these few moves and follow what I say in the video and hold them for as long as you can. And then start, and even if you start to feel some pain, stay connected to the lion heart breathing, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. Put a slight smile on your face. And put your breath into where the pain is in your body, and it will just let it go because you're going with the flow, and just get right through that because that pain is a block. It's a calcium block, crystallization, or scar tissue, and that's going to open up and let go. But we have been taught as soon as there's pain, stop doing it. And understand something. When you feel pain, you tense up. And you get into a sympathetic state, stay in a parasympathetic state with the lion heart breath and stay connected to your higher self. And you will not tear or pull. You will just open up and things will start to flow. We have to open up like a flower, not contract down like glue. So take a look at these things, okay? And then what I'd like you to know is this is one of the most powerful things you can do. So it's called a pelvic expander. This is what you see here. Go to my library and go to the do-it-yourself guide, okay? And when you go to the do-it-yourself guide, this is called the pelvic expander, and one leg is hanging. And for some of you, you won't be able to hang your leg even because you're so frozen in your pelvis. You're going to feel like you're going to tear out. So you can have a chair or a stool under there. And then the other leg is straight up. Understand something. If you don't open up your pelvic bowl, your pelvis, then you're not going to open up the main energy source of the human body. You heard what I just said. I am not kidding. Your lower abdomen, being your large intestine, and your pelvis, prostate, uterus, ovaries, bladder, fallopian tubes, all of that down there with the coccyx, because that's where the tip is that lights the fuse that runs all the way up to your brain to turn your brain on. So understand, do the pelvic expander. You'll hold it for 15 to 30 minutes eventually. You'll do each leg where you put one leg up, one leg down. And also, I'll be showing it. You can look at my do-it-yourself and you can watch how you can just use chairs and you can use the side of a door, okay, like the side of the door, put it up against the side of a door and then hang the other leg in the doorway. And if you go and watch my video, you'll see that, okay? Go watch my video in the do-it-yourself guide in our library, okay? And understand something. If you'd like to get a pelvic expander, all right, just call us at 855-900-4544, extension 5, and we will send you. In United States, his name is Dean Saleo, okay? And in Canada, his name is Welton. So we do not make any money off of the pelvic expanders. Like the belly button, you can come to us. We sell that. But the pelvic expander, we wanted the pelvic expander to come from somebody in the States so that the shipping's cheaper, and then from somebody in Canada. And we wanted to make sure that you get it at a price that you want to get it. So understand when I say this, I do not make a nickel off of these. And you can always use, like I said, the side of a doorway, and you can take a look at my videos and we'll show you how to start there. But you might want to order a pelvic expander that you can put under a massage table or another table. Okay? And like I said, you watch the videos, you'll see it clearer. Now, so I think I've made it really clear, haven't I? That the mother of all organs is the large intestine? Because you need to really get this, okay? If that organ doesn't work, nothing works, okay? That organ doesn't work, everything gets pretty stinky and pretty messy. So I think you're starting to understand that I'm not trying to be more dramatic than this really is. I mean, because if you take a look at this slide, I think this says it all. And that is that life and death actually do begin in the colon. And whether you're aware of this, guess what is one of the first organs that's developed in the fetus? Well, that would be the large intestine, because that is the major part of the immune system for the human body, and it is also the sewage system. But isn't that amazing how the sewage system is also the compost, which is also the main part of your immune system, like 85% of it? Isn't it amazing that all of that combined together, depending on how you treat it, will create either life or death for you? You'll either have a miserable life or you'll have the most amazing life by honoring the Holy Grail, which we call the large intestine. And that's the bottom line. So understand something. If you don't learn to flush the pounds and lighten the load on a physical level and even an emotional level, then guess what? You haven't got it yet. Because this is not a weight problem. This is a waste problem on a physical level. And it's a waste problem on an emotional level. And what do I mean by that? Because it's BS. It's a dysfunctional belief system that you're running in your brain. But it's not yours. It's someone else's. Just as someone else has told you that the food you eat is so good for you. New and improved. How's new and improved doing for you? And just because everybody's doing something doesn't make it right. And just because nobody else is doing something doesn't make it wrong. If you want to have a healthy life, you've got to look towards nature. You can't look towards man because man is the manipulator. And I'll tell you something, there's not a book written, and I hope you understand and take a breath on this one. There is not a book written that hasn't been manipulated by man. So let's make sure, if nothing else, that we truly get that 85% of your immune system comes from your large intestine. Now it's like, oh my gosh, is this guy done yet? Is this masterclass done yet? Is he done talking about the large intestine? No, I'm not. We still got a ways to go here because I need you to totally understand the power that's below your nose. It's been below your nose the whole time. But the reality is it can even be sticking out. It can be sticking out and falling down. But the reality is you're so unconscious with your subconscious because it's been programmed and dumbed down because you have toxic beliefs about yourself. That's all. When you truly learn how to honor, respect, and love yourself, just know this. Your abdomen, you'll understand that your abdomen is the storage tank of all your energy almost. 85% of it. 85% of it. So understand this. Whether you're overweight or underweight, okay? And if you're underweight, you're not losing weight. You're losing muscle tone because you're losing your immune system because your digestive tract, which is the highway of life, is one bumpy road. And you are absorbing all the toxins, but no longer the nutrition. And understand something. You see this gentleman right here? Take a look at that picture and you look at it well. Because he lives in hell in his mind before he lived in hell in his body. And this gentleman here was disrespected probably by parents, probably by the systems, maybe by the church, by the school. But somebody ruled and schooled and fooled this guy. Because I'll tell you something right now. I used to hurt myself. Just like people do. They hurt themselves all day long. I used to hurt myself with my beliefs. But then when I decided that every belief that was hurting me, I was going to rip it out like a weed and lovingly replace it with unconditional, 100% love, protection, and respect for myself, I was no longer hurting myself. And then guess what? And then my family thought I was selfish. Oh, you're so selfish. But now, guess what? My family and my friends, they want to have what I have. But the reality is it wasn't my family and my friends that were coming against me. It was their subconscious that they didn't realize was programmed by corporations, by government, by the elite that live in the shadows. And guess what? They have made you into only a shadow of yourself. I mean, who would walk around and be in this physical condition that you're looking at right now on this slide? Who would do that? Except somebody that was into emotional and physical abuse because they didn't know that they had belief systems that said you're unworthy. You know, I have people that are very close to me that tried to kill themselves. And why do they do that? Why do people try to kill themselves? Well, because they were taught that they're not good enough for who they are. Why do people do drugs? Why do they drink alcohol? Why do they try to kill themselves? Why are people trying to eat themselves to death? I mean, come on. The average person just has to take their clothes off and look in the mirror and go, holy crap, what's that? Whoa, 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 whoa. Understand something. No matter what shape your body is, love it now. Love it right now. Love every bit of yourself, every gram, every ounce, every pound. And love yourself well. And understand something. And when you do love yourself well long enough and strong enough, okay, your body will be an image of health. And it will be an image of self-love and self-care. It is not selfish to know or to understand what your needs need to be. So you have to be selfish enough to know what your needs are so that you can claim your God-given right. It is so important. This is the end of your Trouble Down Below, Part 6. We will see you in Part 7. retrain the brain, get off the pain train.